Good morning, students. Students, in our previous lecture, we started with the discussion of basic concepts of chemistry. And if you remember, I told you what is chemistry. And then we learned how to express the answer in the precise manner. And I told you that any figure which includes a certain digit and a doubtful digit was called as a significant figure. We studied or we discussed the various rules for calculating the number of significant figures. I hope you remember all non-zero digits are significant. 0 becomes significant when it appears between the two non-zero digits. Leading zeros are never significant. Trailing zeros are significant. And suppose the number is 11,400. It is to be, that 0 may or may not be significant. It is to be expressed in the form of n into 10 raised to power n, where n was an indication of significant figure. I also told you decimal points are never counted as a significant figure. Then how to round off the significant figures to the desired number of significant figure we discussed. And then we discussed the addition, subtraction, multiplication and the division, that is the calculations based on the significant figures. Now, we'll be giving you the assignment of the same and definitely we'll be discussing the same. But today, we will be discussing the another topic, and that is matter. Slightly and slowly, we'll move ahead with the syllabus. Now student, if I ask you what is matter, can anyone define me the matter? Naturally you must have been thinking, sir, how can we define on the virtual mode? As we are not on the Zoom classes, it's a recorded video, but you can think up. Think and try to recapitulate in your mind. What is matter? Anything which occupies space and has mass is called as a matter. So anything which occupies space, anything which occupies space and has mass, anything which occupies space and has mass, this is called as a matter. Am I clear? Now, if I classify matter, there are two ways of classification of matters, or in fact, the matter can be classified in two ways, either by the physical classification or by the chemical classification. So, students, if we classify matter, this can either be the physical classification. Just understand very carefully. If you classify matter, it can be a physical classification. So, this can be a physical classification of the matter. Am I clear, student? Yes or not? Or we may classify matter in the chemical way, and that will be called as a chemical classification of matter. This is a chemical classification of matter. So what is matter? Anything which occupies space and has mass. How do we classify matter? We may go for the physical classification as well as for the chemical classification of the matter. Now student, as far as the physical classification of matter is concerned, it can be classified, I mean to say the physical form of a matter, it can be classified into solid, into liquid. In a physical mode of classification, it can be classified into solid, liquid, or it can be classified into gases. I think I shall be very clear. Am I or not? What are the three physical classification of matter? Solid, liquid and gases. Now listen very carefully. This gaseous form of matter and the liquid form of matter will be discussed as a separate chapter in the class 11th. And the solid form of a matter will be discussed as a chapter number 2 in organic chemistry, which is in a class 12, which is a solid state. Am I clear? So, the states of matter will be one chapter in the syllabus of class 11, 10, 12. In fact, the two chapters. The part of this chapter which will be dealing with the states of liquid and the gases will be discussed in the class 11, and the solid state of a matter will be discussed with you in the class 12. Am I clear, student? You must try to understand with this classification how I will correlate my syllabus. Next is the chemical classification of matter. If I go for the chemical classification of matter, it can be chemically classified into two categories. This will either be a mixture or a pure substance. So, if I chemically classify the matter, it will either be classified as a mixture or a pure substance. Am I clear, student? It will be classified as mixture or it can be classified as a pure substance. So, if we classify in the chemical form, it can be classified as mixture or it can be classified as a pure substance. Mixture can be separated into a pure substance by the methods of a separation. And this method of a separation you have done in your class 8th, class 9th. Remember the chapter element compound mixture in the class 8 and 9? Over there, the various ways of separation of mixture was done with you or discussed with you by the teachers. So, mixture can be separated into the pure substance and it can be done by the chemical or the physical method of a separation. So, by the physical method of a separation, mixture can be separated into a pure substance. It can be done normally by the physical method of a separation. As for example, if you have a mixture of iron nails and sand, so how will you separate that? That can be separated by the hand picking method or by the magnetism method. So, that can be separated into the pure substance. Am I clear, student? Now, if we discuss this mixture, mixture can either be the homogeneous mixture or it can be the heterogeneous mixture. First of all, can you tell me what are mixture? Try to recapitulate the thing from the class 8 and 9. What are mixtures? Mixture is a material which contains two or more than two substances not united chemically in a definite proportion. Am I clear or not? So, how will I define mixture? If suppose I ask you to define mixture. So, mixture is a material. Mixture is a material containing two or more than two substances. Mixture is a material containing two or more than two substances. More than two substances. This can be element, this can be compound. More than two substances not united chemically in a definite proportion. Or simply you may write down not united chemically. When I write down they are not united chemically, the term that they are not united chemically in a definite proportion is quite clear. Am I clear? Can you give me an example of a mixture? You must have taken the lunch. Do we have a salad during the lunch? Yes. And in the salad we may have tomatoes, we may have cucumbers, we may have other things, we may have onions, and they can be separated by the physical mode of a separation. So, that is a mixture. That is a mixture. None of the component of a salad was chemically combined. So, that is a mixture. So, what is a mixture? Mixture is a material containing two or more than two substances. These substances may be element or compound, not united chemically. Substance over here may either be element or this can be compound. Is it clear? So, the definition of mixture is clear. Mixture, if the component of the mixture are mixed homogeneously or uniformly, it can be classified as homogeneous mixture. Mixture can be homogeneous mixture, or this can be the heterogeneous mixture. Mixture can either be homogeneous or it can be the heterogeneous mixture. Am I clear? So what are homogeneous mixture? Those mixture in which the components are uniformly mixed. They are normally the single phase. So these are components are uniformly mixed. Homogeneous mixtures are those mixture where the components are uniformly mixed. So if the components are uniformly mixed, those mixtures are called as a homogeneous mixture. And what are heterogeneous mixture? These are those mixtures in which the components are not mixed uniformly. Am I clear? So heterogeneous mixtures are those mixtures where the components are not mixed uniformly. Components are not mixed uniformly. Those mixtures are known as a heterogeneous mixture. Tell me, am I getting it clear or not? What is a mixture? It is a material containing two or more than two substances which can either be element or compound, not united chemically. If a mixture is a homogeneous mixture, then the component of the mixture are mixed uniformly. If the mixture is a heterogeneous mixture, then the component of the mixtures are not mixed uniformly. Can you give me an example of a heterogeneous mixture? Iron and sand. Iron nails, when mixed with the sand, they form a mixture, but they are not mixed uniformly. Can we give me the example of a homogeneous mixture? Single phase mixture, any two liquids. They may form a mixture if they are not chemically combined. Tell me whether this is clear to you or not. So, matter is something which occupies space and has mass. If you go for the classification of matter, there are two ways of classification of matter, either the physical classification or the chemical classification. Physical classification can either be solid, liquid or gas. And this will become a chapter in the syllabus. These are the two chapters in the class 11 and 12 syllabus. States of matter. In the class 11, we will be discussing with you the gaseous state and the liquid state. In the class 12, we will be discussing with you the solid state of the matter. Then, if you go for the chemical classification, it can either be mixture or a pure substance. Mixture can be separated into pure substance by the physical method of separation or by the chemical method of separation. Mixture can either be homogeneous or heterogeneous. Am I clear? Now, pure substances. They can be classified into two categories. This will either be compounds or elements. Am I clear? This will be compounds or elements. So, this over here will be compounds, or this can be classified into elements. Tell me whether I am getting it clear or not. Can you define compound? You have done in the class 8. Just see, compound is a pure substance. It is a classification of a pure substance that contains two or more than two elements united chemically. United chemically means in a definite proportion by mass. So how do we define compound? If I write down the definition of compound, I will be writing it over here. So compound is a pure substance consisting of two or more than two elements united chemically. Is it clear? So what are compounds? Compounds or compound, it is a pure substance. It is a pure substance containing two or more than two elements It is a pure substance containing two or more than two elements. Containing two or more than two elements united chemically. United chemically. You may also add the word in a definite proportion by mass. In definite proportion by mass. Otherwise, this definition is fine. In a definite proportion by mass. Indefinite proportion by mass. What do I mean by this? Suppose if I say water is a compound, which element does it consist of? Hydrogen and oxygen. Are they united chemically? Yes. What is the mass of hydrogen over here? 2. Mass of oxygen 16. So what will be the ratio? 1:8. Am I clear? So what is a compound? It is a pure substance. Just see over here. Compound is a classification of a pure substance which is composed of two or more than two elements united chemically and chemically in a definite proportion by mass. Then compounds can be separated into elements. And how do we separate the compounds into elements? As for example, water consists of what? Hydrogen and oxygen. It can be separated into hydrogen and oxygen by how? By electrolysis. And what is this? Or by chemical method of separation. So by chemical method of separation, compounds can be separated into the elements. This is by chemical method of separation. Just see over here. This was by physical method, although by chemical method also it is not required mostly of the cases the physical method, but here it is the chemical method of separation. If I ask you to define element, what is element? Element is also a classification of a pure substance. Element is a pure substance which contains atoms of same kind having same atomic number. You have studied in the class 10. Suppose if I say the sodium element, how many atoms does it contain? 6.02 into 10 raised to the 23. If the mass is expressed in terms of a gram, they must be of the similar kind and must be having a same atomic number. So if I define element, if I write down over here the definition of element. So what is element? Element is a pure substance which contains atoms of same kind having same atomic number. So element, it is a pure substance. It is a pure substance which contains atoms of similar kind. Element is a pure substance which contains atoms of similar kind. Which contains atoms of similar kind. Having same atomic number, which contains atoms of similar kind having same atomic number. Having same atomic number. Am I clear? Yes or not? So what is element? It is a pure substance which contains atoms of same kind having a same atomic number. Is it clear? So pure substance can be classified into compounds and element. How will you separate compound into elements? By the chemical method of separation. Now see very, very carefully. If we talk about the compounds, compounds can be classified into two categories. These are inorganic compounds and organic compounds, and this become the two parts of the discussion in the class 11th and 12th. I told you your syllabus is divided into 4 sections: physical and general chemistry, inorganic chemistry, organic chemistry, and the analytical chemistry. So this can be separated into inorganic compound. They can be separated into inorganic compounds or organic compounds. So they can be separated into the inorganic and organic compounds. So we may separate this into the inorganic compounds and the organic compounds. Am I clear? Can you name any organic compound studied in the class 10th? Methane, ethane, acetic acid, etc. Inorganic compound, most of them are the inorganic compound, like sodium chloride, potassium sulfate, sodium nitrate, etc. Am I clear? What are inorganic compound? This will be discussed with you when I discuss with you the inorganic chemistry. What are organic compound? I will be discussing you in organic chemistry. Today I have only briefed you with the classification of the matter. And I hope, student, you must have understood what is matter. Anything which occupies space and has a mass. How do we classify matter? In physical manner or chemical way. In physical mode of classification, it can be solid, liquid or gas. In chemical mode of classification, it can be mixture or pure substance. Mixture can be separated into pure substance by physical method of separation. Mixture can be homogeneous or heterogeneous mixture. In homogeneous mixture, components are uniformly mixed. In heterogeneous mixture, components are not uniformly mixed. Compounds and elements are the classification of the pure substance. Compound can be inorganic or inorganic. An element, how do I define? It is a pure substance which contains the atom of the same kind having the same atomic number. So I hope, student, you must have understood the classification of the matter very carefully. Matter. Slowly and steadily we are moving ahead with the syllabus. In our last lecture we discussed the significant figure. I would suggest you to please solve the questions from the book. If you have an NCERT book, that is very good. Otherwise, in any book the questions are given. All books in the class 11th and 12th are generally based on the NCERT syllabus. I hope you will be doing your work. We will be giving you the assignment also. With that, I'll say we'll meet again in the next lecture. Till then, thank you.